whinged, I moaned, I complained, but I was patient. And my patience has been rewarded, finally. Hello everybody, it's me GhostCritic and I have another comic book review video for you. Because it's a Friday and that's what we do on a Friday. Wow, what a great week of comics it has been. 6 solid titles for me to sink my teeth into this week. Thank God. Let's get straight into it with a Wolverine and the X-Men issue 40. This is the last issue before it gets point-nowed or relaunched, and it is the final issue I will be collecting of this series. Not that I haven't enjoyed the series. Jason Aaron has done great stuff on here, has entertained me, made me laugh, made me worry all the way through. I'm just really not on board for a new creative team, so I'm moving on to pastures new. The cover is pretty misleading. We have the cover showing all the students of the Jean Grey School being carted away and handcuffed by S.H.I.E.L.D. Doesn't happen. It doesn't. But nonetheless, the fun that goes on in the comic it just makes up for it. We found out last week that S.H.I.E.L.D. have got 2 of their secret agents into the Jean Grey School in an attempt to kind of reveal how dangerous it is, with, I guess, an effort to either close the Jean Grey School down or at least be able to police it better. And their 2 secret agents are Squidface and Joey. And we left off in the last issue where all the students, our young students of the Jean Grey School, have confronted the 2 because it transpires they've already known that they were secret agents, and they were kind of trying to show them how great the school was in the last issue, but really hasn't worked on Squidface, who is determined to, you know, be S.H.I.E.L.D. through and through and make sure this school gets shut down. So it's the turn of the students to fight back, and that is done by the use of the BAMFs. The BAMFs transport our 2 S.H.I.E.L.D. agents all over the school to ever increasing dangerous scenarios. It was just a lot of fun. By the end of it, Squidface comes out much worse for wear than Joey does, who has kind of, from last issue and this issue, has really warmed to the school and realised what a great family and community it has in there, and probably would have liked to stay there. But he makes a sacrifice so the school doesn't get shut down or taken over by S.H.I.E.L.D. There's the storyline with Wolverine and Cyclops running concurrently on this. We meet up with them when they've just finished their huge battle with the Sentinels at the S.H.I.E.L.D. underground bunker. And it's kind of a heart-to-heart, bit of tough love from Wolverine to Cyclops, where they actually sit down over a bottle of beer and talk about why they are at such odds with each other. And you wonder, by the end of the conversation, has Wolverine finally got through to Cyclops, and maybe he'll change his kind of more terrorist type ways of fighting for X-Men's and mutants' rights. A great finish to Jason Aaron's run, a great series, slightly mired by the whole getting forced into all the events that were going on, AVX, Battle of the Atom, etc. But still stayed an entertaining, fun comic book to read. Justice League Dark issue 27 came out this week, and what looks like at least the final part for JLD of this crossover Forever Evil Blight storyline. And as much as I love DeMatteis and Yannen's work on this book, I am pretty much lost on this, and I do wonder if I perhaps picked up even one or two of the other crossover books, that this one, which seemed to be the main focus of this crossover, would have perhaps made a little bit more sense. But DeMatteis is quite clever, and I think he realises to a certain extent that not everyone will be picking up all the crossovers. So at the beginning of this book, some kind of shockers that I was left with at the end of the last JLD, like Phantom Stranger seemingly going over to Blight's side and being a traitor, gets explained right at the beginning here. So I'm not completely lost on whose side is on whose. Basically, issue 27 is the final fight, the last ditch attempt to defeat Blight, and that comes from the outside and the inside, the darkness within our characters, and the hope and light in others. It's action-packed all the way. We have Aquaman with Deadman inside controlling him, and Swamp Thing trying to distract Blight, while Nightmare Nurse and John Constantine do a little bit of spooky magic and literally bring out their dark demonic sides in an effort to fight Blight from the outside. Phantom Stranger and Pandora, with the help of Zor-El, fight Blight from the inside, and that's where our kind of light and hope comes from. I did get the feeling as I was reading towards the end of this that I think I've read this storyline, or a kind of version of it, before, way back in maybe the 90s, maybe the early 2000s. I can't quite put my finger on what is so familiar about it, but there is a familiarity about the book. Not that it wasn't, like I said at the beginning of this, a solid title. I love DeMatteis' writing in this. Yannen's artwork is clean, it's crisp, it's action-packed, it's dynamic. I do like that this looks like it's over now, and now the kind of psychic fog has lifted. John Constantine can finally see where our original JLD team are being held prisoner. And so I think we're moving on. We may get the old team back. We might get some new people in the mix. There's one of those, at the back of this, there's like a two-page spread, much in the ilk of the Batman Thanksgiving dinner poster, where we have all the magical characters, and it looks like there's an upcoming event involving all our kind of magical characters, which look really cool. Fables issue 137 out this week too. For those of you who haven't been reading it, Bill Willingham has been putting his own stamp version on the kind of myth fable of Camelot. Rose Red acting as King Arthur, rebuilding the Fables town with a huge castle that within is housed basically a round table, and she has been doing these tournaments to assess all potential knights for her round table. In typical Fables fashion, the people she picks aren't necessarily your regular traditional knights. We've got a fox, an ogre, a stuffed toy, and Little Bo Peep, among others. The great thing about this issue is it's revealed who is actually the successor to the North Wind. Obviously we know it was going to be one of Bigby and Snow White's children, but we were kind of thrown red herrings here and there of who it was actually going to be. This issue we finally found out, and wow, the power at this person's disposal is pretty impressive and pretty terrifying at the same time. We get cameos from Father Christmas, Snow White, not Snow White, the Snow Queen. It's just another wonderfully, magically immersive tale of Fables. Bill Willingham once again just making Fables one of my top favourite books. So sad that this will end, but all great things do. The other tiny little bit they throw in, though it has huge implications, Bigby, who has been crystallised with one piece missing. They've managed to put as much of the pieces together, but there is one missing piece that has been put back at a most unlikely, by an unlikely person who may have their own agenda for doing this at the same time, but then suddenly Bigby's disappeared. This is ranking up the excitement on this. We're up to part 6 of this Camelot story. I don't know how many more parts, but something big is going to come by the end of this. Issue 9 of East of West from Image Comics out this week, and from what I've been hearing from a lot of people here in our YouTube comic book community, they know that a lot of people have dropped this very early on, thinking that it was moving too slowly. If that's what they felt, that's what they felt, but I really didn't get that, because this book by Hickman, to me, has been evenly paced. It's gradually grown this this universe, this world of not just like our individual characters, but huge continents and kingdoms that just span the whole world. The story again here, it's kind of split between two halves. We have Death making a quite debilitating offer to this horrific creature that has been chained up. We find out who chained her up in the first place, though we don't yet know why. And then on the other side, more political ramifications from the president that affects a royal house within our East of West universe. And Dragotta Martin's artwork, again, wonderful. You are just transported into like sprawling kingdoms or dark, dank dungeons, and it's just so good. For anybody who dropped this title, go back, pick up the trades, find the 6 or 7 issues you may have been missing, and just catch up, because this has become, it's kind of under the radar. You know, lots of people are talking about the other big Image books like Saga, Deadly Class from last week, obviously The Walking Dead, all the big name books. And I don't think East of West gets as much attention or as much praise as it really should do. Just go find it. Black Science issue 3, one of our firm favourites. Only 3 issues in, but we all have loved the last 2, and issue 3 doesn't let down either. Again, it's another book that's kind of split between two halves. We go back to the past and we find out where all this began, how our scientists managed to get themselves in so much trouble, really, and that is your other half of the story, where we have the continued effort to save Grant, who was kind of like mortally wounded in the last couple of issues, but whilst holding off these kind of tech-orientated Native Americans and the German soldiers. Just another book that's a joy to behold. The artwork by Scalera and White, just fantastic. It's wonderful, it's dramatic, dynamic, exciting. It's just everything you want from a kind of sci-fi adventure mashup tale. Why are you not buying this? Clearly Image is on to yet another winner. Remender putting out yet another top book that should be right on the top of your pile to read. Remender, in just like 3 issues, he has set up all our characters. We know all about them, or we think we do. We may not now, after issue 3, like certain characters as much as we thought we would. Is Grant really worth saving now we've found out what a kind of sleazebag he is? But this is where the action starts. And finally, Saga issue 18, the kind of culmination to this kind of meandering storyline, and getting ready for another hiatus. What's that all about? A lot happens. A lot is hinted at, revealed, action-packed. The only thing I have to say is, why could this not have happened sooner? I do feel that this story arc, Brian K. Vaughan has really kind of padded out a lot of this storyline. But let's talk about this issue. I'm not going to reveal too much. I'm going to try and be as cryptic as I can because I don't want to spoil it for you. Isabel, she ain't just the babysitter. Wow. Lion Cat, holding on to maybe a big dark secret. Gwendolyn, Marco finally meet. Alana kicks ass, protecting her baby, protecting her family. Marco seemingly making an ultimate sacrifice. The Brand and the Will are kind of freelance bounty hunters. Seem to have family ties. What else? There was so much. Oh, and of course, it all wrapped up with a first few steps. Fine. This is the issue I've been waiting for. This is what Saga used to be like. It used to be exciting. I used to want to like grab it and read it first off. I kind of leave it a bit. The last few issues I've been leaving it till almost the bottom of the pile because I kind of think it's going to be another story about the family again. Ugh. But this is what I first loved about Saga. It's exciting, it's unpredictable, it throws you for a loop, and it's just wrapped up with, of course, Fiona Staples' gorgeous artwork on here. We're on to another hiatus. It looks like we've moved quite far on in time, so it'll be interesting to see what direction Brian K. Vaughan and Fiona Staples take one of perhaps the biggest Image title has going for it. And there we go, wrapped up for another week. 6 great titles. What did you think of them? Let me know in the comment section below. Did you read anything else that I didn't pick up? Let me know what you thought about it, or if you've made a video about it. You can now put links in the comment box below. So it's kind of, we lost video responses, but now we can put links to websites, videos in the comment section below. So if you've done a video, you want me to have a look at it, I'll have a look at it. I'll watch anything made. That's it for me this week. If you're new here, please hit the subscribe button if you liked it. If you liked it, you must give it a thumb up. And like as always, put lots of comments in the box below. I'll try and reply to them as soon as possible. I am off this weekend, so give me a few days, yeah? Take care. Bye-bye.